I'll talk a little bit about the software, and I just kind of thought I'd show you the setup I've got. Right there that's a little card reader that you can buy that's USB compatible. They're only a few dollars actually, and on eBay, places like that. Makes it handy for entering users. You'll see that in just a minute. There's my computer. There's the router. Behind it is the server. And I've got 4 Macs set up right here. And they're labeled 1 through 4. All right, let's take a look at the software. This is the dashboard for MACS. This is the control program that's used to set up control the entire system. You can set users in here. You can set up stations or machines. You can then assign users to machines, and you can also view the log. And there's also some other features. It has a little bit of graphing of data, which we probably won't have enough data here to graph, but then there's also a small addition part of it that's used for setting up the Wi-Fi credentials, that sort of thing for the system. But anyway, this particular screen this is an administrative type program, so this requires a sign-in. Now this, of course, I'm running under Chrome right now, and you could use any kind of a browser, Internet Explorer. You could use a tablet. You could even use a phone. What I'm going to do here is add some users to the system. Right now I've got myself in there as an admin, but I'm going to add some more. We'll start with user 1. User 1. And we'll just assign an email address. We could put in this section here, we can put his user ID number or his admin ID name, and then here a password, but we're not going to give him admin capability. Now for the badge, I simply sweep the badge over the reader and it enters that number for me. Okay, let's do user number 2. Same email. Badge 2. The reader. That reader makes it really easy. User 3. Email. Badge ID number 3. So we've got 3 users in the system, and now what we need to do is define some stations. Now the MACS units I had sitting on here on the table are actually numbered with the jumpers on the back are numbered 1 through 4. So let's start off one with a table saw. A table saw, we'll make it machine number 1, and this would be we're going to use a saw stop, table saw. All right, we'll add him. All right, next machine, maybe that should be a planer. And that's going to be machine number 2. And that will be that'll be a Grizzly 15-inch planer. Next thing, let's have some metalworking equipment. How about we'll call it lathe 1, and make him machine number 3. We're going to call it we've got 11-inch lathe, so about 11-inch metal lathe. All right, and we got one more thing. Let's make that a mill. Mill 1. We're going to get more mills, right? That'll be number 4, and I'll say it. That's going to be the Bridgeport mill. All right, so we've got a set of equipment here. We've got table saw, planer, lathe, mill, and again on MACS units, the jumpers were set up so these were numbered 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to make that small. Now this section is interesting. This is a matrix. In the matrix we can identify who can use what equipment. So let's just say user 1 can use the table saw, user 2 can use the planer, and user 3, he'll be the super user, he can use anything. And we'll update those. If you look down below, this is a log, and you can see every action I took. Here's where the stations were connecting when I powered them up. They were unknown at this point. I created 3 users. I created these 4 machines, and I updated the access rights to these people. So that takes care of our log. Now, if I go over here and take user number 1 and try the table saw, we'll see it's unlocked. Unlocked means that the device can be run. So user number 1 is using the table saw. So user number 2, we'll put him in place. He can use the planer, and he's unlocked. User number 3 can use anything. I'm going to go ahead and put him over there on the milling machine. Okay, user number 3 is operating a mill. If I take user number 2 off of the planer, you'll see that it's locked, and he used it for 18 seconds. We'll try him on the lathe. See what happens when we try him on the lathe. Uh-oh. He's rejected. It came up twice because I put the card in rather slowly, but anyway, yeah, he was rejected on a lathe. He's not able to operate. The red light on the unit came on. Another interesting thing, if I take a card that's not in the system at all, here's another badge, and it hasn't been assigned to a user, so I'll put him in the lathe. Now we get a rejected, and this is a card number, and this is the device that he tried to use. If he goes over here and tries to use the planer, we'll get the same thing, but it'll say the planer. So that's basically how the system works. Now, the log is a log that's kept in a MySQL database, and you can get into this database using PHP myadmin, which is pretty cool. You can okay, down here there's a usage column. Now, we don't have enough usage for it to actually start working, but the usage column is just some things we've been playing around with graphics to determine how much equipment was used, that sort of thing, on a graphical basis. Here's where we set up this little screen right here allows us to set up the MACS devices for their SSIDs and passwords they're able to accept. So there's a primary SSID and a password, and then there's 2 secondaries. And when we say primary and backup here, what we mean is primary and backup for access to the particle cloud. And the reason we use a particle cloud is that's how we do a software update. But the MACS network that's in our makerspace is a closed network. It does not have access to the internet. That's for security purposes, of course. But that's the main control software. Now there's another program that we can use, or a web page really, and it's called LogView. Now the MACS LogView is right here. Notice there's no login required here. Anybody who has access to our Wi-Fi network can look at this thing on their cell phone or tablet or laptop, whatever they want, and you can see exactly what's going on. So if somebody's over here using the table saw, you can say, okay, well, I'll just wait till they get off. So whenever you see this pop up where it's locked table saw, then you know that he's done with the table saw. And you can use we can use this database for all kinds of things, and it's easy. Relatively easy anyway, to write the PHP code to generate web pages, to do all kinds of statistics on what's going on in our database. But that's the MACS software system in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it.